What's going on YouTube? I am Tracie Franklin. I'm the Glenfiddich ambassador for the East Coast.
And I'm Sniff from ScotchNSniff. And today we're going to be doing something we haven't done in a long time. It's a Cadillac review. This is a review of we call it Cadillac review, Lamborghini review, whatever you want to call it. But it's a review of a bottle that's just out of all of our reaches. Like most regular people, like you and like me. And like Tracie. We're just well, no. And so it's just it costs more than $200.
It's life goals.
Well, exactly.
Life
goals. So we'll call it a life goal bottle.
Yeah.
Because that's what this is. So
yes.
I mean, we talked about this, but tell us what this is.
Yes. So this is Glenfiddich. This is our rare cask collection. So this is our cask 7585, released only in the United States. We had 98 bottles that came out of that, plus a couple sample bottles that we're lucky to bring out and sample people on. But this was put down in 1973. What's interesting about that is they say that in 1974 was one of the warmest summers in Scotland, so anything that was already in barrel at that time really was able to breathe into that oak. And now it's coming out with amazing vanilla notes and just a really beautiful creamy nature to it.
This many years later?
This many years nature. But what's wonderful, and again, the Glenfiddich casks that are allowed to age this long and are actually released at these older statements, I feel like there's still definitely a vibrancy and they're alive and bright and flavorful, which isn't always true. So I'm very, very excited whenever I get a new life goal Glenfiddich. So the Brian Kinsman has selected this one for us to have out in the United States, available for $6,000. I think
6,000 like Ukrainian dollars, or is that USD?
I think it's USD.
Oh,
I'm pretty
that's
sure.
a shame.
I think it's USD.
That's a shame.
So I mean, that's not so bad. And once we taste it, we'll realize why. I mean, consider
a used car.
When you have only 100 bottles that come out of a huge 53-liter barrel, and after all of that time, that's all that you're getting out of it. More than 40 years of aging. So this is really going to be a concentration of flavors, and it's going to be something that's been cared for a long time. So there's a lot of love put into this little bottle here. Love.
That's love. That's the only thing that you can put into this bottle.
Oh, that smells really good.
That's wild. You know what this reminds me of?
Want some?
Yes, Jason, we'll get you some. So this totally reminds me of, so we had that Cask 191 event that we went to where Scotchfather opened up that bottle of Cask 191 Balvenie that was 50 years old. And it was you think of Balvenie's signature today, and you're like, oh, it's subdued, it's quiet, it's mellow. Balvenie does such a good job of okay, we're doing balance, but we're going to do it with the volume at a 4 instead of doing anything with the volume at a 5,
Unless
6,
you're talking
7,
about
8,
their
7.
single barrels or some of the
But the
more
50
intense
year,
finishes.
that was a single barrel, and that thing was volume 11. You
Absolutely.
were like, oh my gosh, where did all this vibrancy and this life, the spices and just the sherry sweetness, everything, it was just on. Somebody was oh, Balvenie, and we're also going to just put in all the flavors. And it was nuts.
Yeah.
And so this reminds me of that. I know this is 44 years old, but it smells so alive. It's not even funny. Oh, that's good.
What are we at? 44.9% ABV, so it's also not super high proof, but we've got just a little bit higher than we would normally are getting. But yeah, you can't stop smelling it. I do not want to stop smelling it.
Apples.
It makes me think of an actual just the little pies that you make for yourself,
exactly.
a turnover.
Exactly.
Yeah, because it's also custardy and creamy.
Oh, that's perfect. I mean, we have to drink it at some point. We can't just have them staring at us nosing this. Okay. So, I mean, we have to taste it.
All right, here we go.
I knew it. I'm gonna taste it anyway.
I love
gonna taste it anyways.
Okay,
I think that's
we're good.
That's 90% of what you're gonna taste anyway. So
right, I'm just setting.
For sure.
Setting all those aromas, getting ready so that when I do taste it, I can taste even more.
Like that, already.
This one, again, it's hitting with some force. It's... Oh, and then but in the back of the palate, did yours kind of envelop, kind of lay down some of the vanilla in the back? Front for me was... Okay.
In the back, brown sugar.
Okay.
All day long. Somebody was here's a tablespoon of brown sugar. We're shoving it in your throat behind everything else.
Yes, behind everything else.
Because on the front, it went from that apple pie and like that creamy apple mixture that you got in there, and the front just went like, hey, here's the freshest apple you've ever had in your life. How would you like this? And you're like, I'm not falling for it. I saw what happened to Snow White. She like died. But like, seriously, it was the freshest apple. And you're just like, oh, hello. And then as it's like careening down the back of your tongue, it just goes from that apple to like somebody was just like, I'm telling you, this is just an apple pie in a glass. Like somebody was literally like, brown sugar would just do this.
Yeah.
Like now it's happening. It's just
See,
like,
I've got mine. Oof. I feel like there's definitely like vanilla and then the sugar. But vanilla
just like, on the edges, just a little bit.
In the right mid palate though.
Yeah.
It's like that's a switch. It went shoop. This is cool.
That's legit.
I mean, man. Hi.
You always hear it. So people always talk about like, oh, is it worth $6,000? Is it worth $50,000? Like that was a huge question I got constantly, like through DMs on Instagram. People are like, 50-year Balvenie, did it taste like $50,000? And you have to sit there and you're like, no, it doesn't taste like $50,000. Like $50,000 is your kid's education in college. Right. $50,000 is a used Jaguar. $50,000 is a 2006 Aston Martin with a 6-speed manual and the V8. It's a Vantage. That's $50,000 today. Like you could literally go buy one today, an Aston.
Good.
But but you have to think it, and you have to sit there and the culmination of all of the things. The people who are in the room, the experience, the glasses, the people, and like everything coming together with the whiskey, that is, it's obviously priceless to hang out with other people, but that is worth the money.
Right. So, but what if, even if that's not included? So thinking about just what's in this bottle and the history and the time and the fact that we're tasting something that was laid down back in 73 when things were different at the distillery.
That gets added up too.
And that's also part of it. So, look, this isn't 50, so this is an affordable 6. But it really is. It's an opportunity for us to look at history, and that's what I always think about when I'm drinking the older scotches.
We weren't even alive.
No. My parents were like not even able to think about having children yet. I don't think. Yeah, that'd be bad.
It's crazy.
So it's that to me is what really blows me away. It makes me really grateful for this job and this opportunity that I have to share this with you, and then to also try it, because honestly, as much as I when I worked in my whiskey bar, I would get the opportunity every now and then to try something this spectacular, this expensive, but that's something that's rare and very, far and in between. So
it is like really people, grateful. You're right though. There's so much tied into it and I was explaining that to people too. Like it's one thing to say that, oh, this is 40 years old, or this is 50 years, this is 44 years old. Mm-hmm. Like when you think of the logistics of keep something in your house for 12 years. And you're like, wow, like that was actually a giant pain in the butt. And there are very few things that'll make it 12 years in your house.
Right.
Like if you've lived in one place most of your life, like think about the things you have that are 20 years old. Now think of the things you have that are 30 years old that aren't falling apart that you've thrown away. Think of a car that you have that's 30 years old. Yeah. Like it just doesn't happen. 40 years old. Right. But to say that something is made at 44 years old, somebody has taken care of it. Somebody has, even if the barrels never moved, that building that they're in had to be taken care of. Absolutely. Because we all know that Glenfiddich has had collapsed ceilings before. But like and
we took advantage of that.
that building had to be taken care of. The grounds alone had to be taken care of. Like there's a lot of maintenance that goes with it. Even if you don't even consider just this one barrel, the building itself. Like that's a lot of work keeping something standing for 40 years. Mm-hmm. And like all of it has to get poured into, that's what we're having right here.
It's pretty amazing.
44 years ago, somebody was not thinking of giving us an apple pie.
They were not, but thank goodness they were still laying down barrels. And we're really lucky. We laid down a lot of barrels in the 70s and 80s and into the 90s. So we're going to have a lot of really fun stuff coming out. And we, 30, 40, 50, those are going to be around for us. So that's nice.
That like vanilla cream with the apples.
I feel like toffee is coming now. It's kind of like almost like butterscotch.
I'm still getting lots of apples. Like, but I think that's one of the things I like about Glenfiddich, though. Like that's, but this is like a tart. Like this is like the perfect apple for making apple pie. Because it's got to be something that has a ton of flavor, like tart apples. Because when it goes through the process of baking, then it's also subdued and mellowed. But this is legit.
I'm gonna do it. 1 drop, 2 drops. 1, 2. Oh, sorry, 3.
It'll be all right.
I know.
Oh, man.
Oh, wow. It's crazy what just a couple drops of water will do. Again, it is something that you want to be cautious about because you can't take it back. But I do enjoy just seeing what happens, seeing what flavors come out. It's, again, allowing you that time to play with your whiskey. And that's what it's for, to enjoy, have fun. What'd you get? What'd you do?
I would say playing with whiskey, as long as it's not $6,000 whiskey. Because I find myself doing this. With the more expensive whiskey that I have, I find myself not adding water. I'll do it the first time just to see what's going on.
Absolutely.
And I'll do it the first time just to know what will happen if I do it. But unless it does something full of fireworks,
right,
I'm probably drinking it neat after that.
Absolutely,
but
because this is our first, absolutely, but because this is our first time, this is us exploring and doing our tasting. I think when you're first getting it, see what happens.
Yeah.
You know, we got more.
It's wild.
So now, I personally don't think we need water.
No, it did not need
water.
water.
I don't think so. I think that we lost the creaminess of it.
You had toned it down, so it really.
So I agree.
Oh man.
And so next time I'm going in, I don't have to, but it's fun. I also don't want people to feel like they can't.
Yeah,
that's really
of course.
Cool.
Yeah. So guys, if you wow. I mean, normally I end the videos by saying, like, if you've had this, try it.
Well,
like,
if you have had this, put some notes below.
Yeah, definitely leave us your notes. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, or if you'd like to reach out to Tracie.
Yes, Glenfiddich TF on Instagram and Twitter. TF as in Tracie Franklin.
So fancy. Also on the Twitter, which ScotchNSniff is
I'm not doing so well at the Twitter. I'm trying really hard. But maybe if you guys are on there and we'll start chatting. I'm trying to get better about Twitter.
I know, but you can chat on Instagram. It just it covers so many bases.
I know, but it's all like behind. On Twitter, everyone talks together. And I like that. We start these really long feeds of everybody chatting with each other.
It feels like stalking. It's weird.
Oh, okay.
So if you guys have questions, comments, concerns, whatnot, so again, it's been a while since we did a lifetime achievement bottle review.
Life goals, hashtag review. Life goals.
So,
hashtag put a stag on
we'll
it.
try to do some more of those in the future, and just thanks for enjoying this with us.
And if you guys are interested, just
Thank you.
There might be like 4 bottles left in the US.
Thank you. That's only $24,000. Don't buy that Civic. Just go buy those bottles of whiskey.
And share with me.
Yes.
Yum.